All right, what's up, everyone? We're back for another edition of Live from Redhook here at the Function House. And tonight, our special guest DJ is DJ Lomo. Welcome to the show.
Welcome down to the Function House, bro.
Thank
Welcome
you,
to Redhook.
Thank you, guys. Love this place.
Yeah, you've been watching the show?
Yeah, this place is like, it's something that no one else is doing, so it's super dope.
We enjoy coming down every Tuesday night, listening to different DJs and stuff like that.
Definitely, yeah. I definitely watch the show all the time, and I see the variety of stuff that you guys do. It's awesome.
How have you liked the shows that we've done so far?
Oh, I've been super pleased with all of them. I've had a couple friends that have been on here, Dom Tafaro, Rick Wonder. You guys had Theo, so I know a bunch of the guys that have been on here, Shortcuts. So definitely a good roster you guys have had.
Well, now it's your turn.
Yeah,
and we want to know.
We
want to know everything, bro.
Yeah.
We want to know how many pairs of sneakers you have.
Too many.
We want to know how you got into the DJ business.
No creases in the sneakers.
No creases. How do you keep them uncreased?
That's just sizing, man. Knowing your size. You know?
So you've been making some noise, man. I follow you on Instagram. I follow you on all the social medias. I want to know how you got into DJing and how you got it to this point.
Well, I got started DJing. I was always just a fan of music from when I was a kid. Always collected, started with cassettes and then moved to CDs. And I used to just listen to the radio all the time, different DJs. I was a big fan of Hot 97 back in the day. So, the boom boxes that had the record feature through a cassette. I used to record like Flex and everybody on the radio. And I used to say, this is the sickest thing. And I always wanted to do it. So, I started growing my music collection, CDs and whatnot. And I was in elementary school going to house parties. And I'd be the kid in the corner by the boombox playing the music and stuff. So, that's where it all started, basically.
That's how it starts, yeah.
It's crazy how you, every DJ coming up wants to DJ on Hot 97, and, they envision themselves DJing, but you actually got the opportunity to play on Hot 97.
Yeah, that was awesome. And it's, it's definitely a growing relationship with everybody up there. Shout out to Enough and P.O. and those guys. Everybody's up there. They're a great bunch of, great crew.
How did the relationship with Hot 97 come about?
It's actually funny. It was like an opportunity that I couldn't have asked for it to work any better. I DJ'd out in Atlantic City at Haven, so shout out to everybody out there. We came back, and I was with a friend of mine who is from Miami, and him and I were in a DJ battle at Haven. That's how I got my relationship with them, and him and I get booked every 2 months out there together all the time. So he was actually staying in town, and it was the weekend that the storm hit in Miami, the big hurricane.
Yep.
So he ended up staying by me. I got him a booking out on Long Island, and he was like, "Yo, let's stop in the city. We're gonna stop at 187, see everybody." I'm like, "All right, cool." I've known enough of just passing relations and Camilo and those guys, but never actually went up there and met anybody. And we went up.
He had the relationship up there?
Yeah, he had the relationship because he's a DJ down in Miami for Power 96. So they have.
Who is he?
DJ CX.
Okay.
So shout out to CX. So we went up there and ended up seeing everybody up there and meeting P.O. And at the end of the day, he needed a ride to the ferry. And I was heading that way, and he was like, "Oh, can you give me a ride?" I said, "Yeah, no problem." We were in the car driving, and we just, chopping it up. And he was like, "Yo, I would love to have you, as a part of the station, talk to Enough." And then maybe 2-3 weeks later, I got a text from Enough and P.O. saying they wanted me to get involved in the holiday mixes, which I was more than honored. You know what I mean?
How pumped were you?
Super pumped, but at the same time, it's like your heart's racing.
Yeah, it's a
You're like,
little
oh shit!
You bought a new pair of sneakers.
Yeah, I was fresh, waiting to go. waiting for the schedule to come out, and then.
So did they even hear you play, or just off your personality?
Yeah. So after I spoke to Enough, he asked me to send them a demo. 20 minutes just to hear. I've played with him before at Studio Square and a couple of these other spots. So he asked me to send him a demo. I sent it to him, and then maybe an hour later, I got the schedule for the Thanksgiving mix weekend.
What was it like making that demo?
It was what it was. I was so calm with it, and I was like, I knew what the job had to be done, and I knew what I had to do, so I just followed straight through with it and sent it, and I was confident in sending it, and then it led from there.
Oh,
which is
great.
sick.
So you're born and raised in Queens, right?
Yes. Yep.
So
Ozone Park, and then grew up in Howard Beach with that whole crew out there, and then I moved out to Long Island when I was in high school, and then high school is actually where I first was introduced to turntables. I had a couple kids that I met as soon as I moved into into Long Island.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Massapequa High School, and met a couple of guys out there. And one was a DJ. He used to go by Johnny Styles. He's Jonathan Snyder. He used to DJ with. He was all house music, so he used to be at Limelight, and he was DJing under Jonathan Peters under his label, and at the time he was all vinyl. We were like 15 years old, so Serato was like it was all pre-Serato. And we used to do house parties together. He used to just be like, yo, jump on. So I would be pulling the hip-hop records and, throwing them on. We'd be on the steps in a house. And it was just like, that's really where it took off from there. And then I was hooked.
So it's always been hip-hop for you?
It was hip-hop. And then I got into the house scene.
Until 2008 came and EDM took over.
Yeah,
And I started playing some house
No,
track.
not even. I was going to like Limelight and stuff, and I would go out to see Jonathan Peters because my one of my good friends that I grew up with in high school, his older brother was like a factory head, and that's how I came up on that. So I started listening to that stuff, and then I was into house for a little while.
Spent some early nights in Sound Factory?
Yeah, absolutely. Following those guys.
It's like The Walking Dead.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, I never got into all the the crazy stuff as somebody's got,
Yeah.
But
Did you see God?
no, I didn't see God. I could definitely say I didn't see God. So yeah, man.
So born in Queens, Howard Beach, Long Island.
Yep.
What were the first promoters that you were working for? How'd you get onto the club scene?
First promoters I actually worked for was Mike Mack. He was a Long Island promoter, doing like all the college bars in Long Island. And I was in college at the time. And we ended up meeting, and he was like, "Yo, you know a lot of people. I see you all the time. Promote to these people." So I said, "All right, start, get moving." And the first like nightclub / bar spot that I did was Dublin Pub with him, out on Long Island in New Hyde Park, and that was like a big college scene.
Yeah.
Everybody used to go there, and that's where it picked up from there.
So where do you think it was that you got your break? What club was it?
The break. That's hard to say. I used to do so many different spots. Once I started DJing house music because that was like the scene at the time.
Yep.
In like 2010, somewhere around there, and then I ended up meeting a couple promoters, and that's really where it grew from there because I ended up meeting a promoter, and he just started pushing me out to different outlets, and that's when I really jumped more to like the open format side and got back to my hip hop of what I know.
So now you're strictly open format?
Yeah, all open format. There's not a club that I'll really turn down. Now everything is hip hop. So you go out in the city, you go anywhere, it's mostly hip hop.
But you're not taking no house music gigs?
No. I leave that to the house
Yeah,
guys.
of course.
But do you still try to keep up to date with, not like, with like the deep tech house or techno or stuff
You know
like
what it
that,
is?
but
I try to stay relevant with everything.
Yep.
The hip hop, the top 40, the pop, and even like the tech house. And I don't get too involved in tech house,
Yep.
but I do like the vibe of the music and the sound.
Yeah.
So I'm still a fan of it. I still stay up on it,
So how much time do you spend like putting your music together?
Putting the music together, I would say at least 2 to 3 days a week. I'll jump on the record pools and I'll grab whatever's new, whatever new stuff. I mean, I'm listening to the radio all the time, so.
What are you on, Franchise, DJ City?
DJ City, yeah. I know all the guys up there, so shout out to like Latin Prince and Marty Rock and all those guys that go to like the barbecues and everything. Those are great guys. So I stay on there, and they have a good mix of everything. And then, it's Mixcloud and SoundCloud, you hear different sounds and stuff, and I just get attracted to different stuff, you know what I mean? That's the way I take it.
So that's a full-time job. Just
Yeah.
And
to be honest,
social media too. Like
Yeah.
social media is a full-time job.
It definitely is. It's hard to stay relevant on social media because to keep people's attention, that's the hardest thing. I've said it time and time again to different people that I talk to about it all the time, and I'm like, how do you keep people intrigued? Like I'll do the videos, I'll do the scratch videos, and people don't want to see flyers. They'd rather see you posted up next to a stairway or something with a quote and your rundown next to the photo. You know what I mean?
And it's got to be like absolute. We were talking about this today, because we're doing some stuff for the Function House.
Yep.
And like everything's got to be perfect.
Yeah, yeah,
Right?
yeah.
And then you put it up, and it's like hot for about an hour and a half, and then it's done.
Yeah, yeah,
And you
yeah.
spent like an hour and a half making it.
Yep, yep.
And then like it's
Doing
just
the
like,
editing,
all right,
yeah.
done with
Well,
that.
Yeah.
if you realize that, like when you're literally scrolling through your phone, how many things you pass and why
Oh,
you pass them, and that's what you have to figure out. Why am I passing these?
Right.
And
Yep.
then that's what you have to figure
Yeah,
out.
absolutely, absolutely. Yeah. you
Yeah.
put a lot of time with the social media. I put a lot of time into it because I mess around with some graphic design and stuff like that. So I'm good with Photoshop, and I do a lot of my own stuff. So I don't have to rely on someone doing it for me.
It's super important.
Yeah, yeah. You have to be multifaceted now
You need to be a photographer.
Yep,
You need to be a
photographer.
you have to be a designer.
Yep.
You then DJ.
The DJ's the last.
Yeah.
No. But I mean, it is kind of funny though
Yeah.
when you look at some of these pictures that people take.
Yeah.
I mean, I know that you have to do it.
Nothing's
but
relevant.
But it's so, it's just like at the airport.
What, the airport picture? We talk about the airport picture all the time. Like, you
airport
got to get the
picture.
runway in the background. The
Yeah.
runway's not in the
Oh, yeah.
background.
The
is
plane
not
at the loading.
Yes.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
yes.
Yep.
And like,
Yes.
like
Yep.
maybe your laptop on the table with your coffee.
I'm
something.
not gonna lie.
Louis bag?
I've done it.
Louis
I've
bag?
definitely done it.
With the Louis
Yeah.
bag?
No, but it's crazy how you like have to do that stuff.
Yeah, it's what's appealing to the people and what they what they
So
see.
it's just it's nuts. I mean, I scratch my head.
Yeah, I definitely do too.
So how many pairs of sneakers do you have?
Too many, man. My fiance says all the time. She's like, I'm gonna get evicted soon.
You getting married?
Yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah. This year, thank you, bro. Thank you. It's big.
Yeah.
Who DJs your wedding?
Serge is actually doing my wedding.
a great DJ.
Great guy, great DJ. Personally, to me, he's one of the best guys in the business.
Aside from me and Mike, yeah.
Yeah,
I give that
absolutely,
to him.
absolutely. Definitely. But, from start to finish, his execution I've known Serge a long time. First time I ever DJ'd with him, it was like we clicked right off the bat, and then we, stayed friends from there. And that was like 8 years ago, him and I.
Yep.
And then I actually booked him a couple weddings, like all my friends that got married within the last 2 years.
Yep.
And he's like, I got you. So I was like, all right, cool.
That's good. So where is the wedding?
It's at Jericho Terrace on Long Island.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sure.
Nice big room,
Yeah.
200 guests, driving me crazy.
That's all? 200 guests? How'd
Yeah,
you,
I
how'd
gotta
you pull that off?
I gotta limit it.
How did you? I had 355 at my wedding.
So
Wow.
are you gonna play a set at your wedding?
That's a good question. Depends on how many drinks you have. If the wife stays on my ass.
You got to do a couple of mixes.
Yeah, I might.
Vitale did a few mixes at his wedding.
Yeah,
Did you?
I was wasted though. One advice I can give you is don't drink too much at your wedding.
No, I definitely want to enjoy the night. There's gonna be a lot going on, and between the photos, and you don't want to look all crazy in the photos.
Yeah.
Definitely not.
So did you prepare something for us?
Yeah, I put a bunch of stuff together. It's just like just some stuff that I like to play, that I enjoy listening to, and just something different that I don't get to play on the regular. There's definitely some fun stuff, some stuff that I do play on the regular, but I definitely put a little bit together. So
Sounds great.
yeah,
I'm
man.
happy to have you here, bro.
Thank you.
Thanks
Thank
for
you.
coming down.
Absolutely. Thank you for
We're
having
gonna
me.
take a
man.
2-minute break and get Lomo up on the
Awesome.
decks.
Yeah.
Peace.